Some houses look completely normal from the outside, but sometimes there's something hidden within their walls, something far more terrifying than we can imagine. This is the story of one of the most dangerous cases handled by the world's most famous paranormal investigators, Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren, the Donovan family haunting. Ted and Ellen Donovan had recently moved into a new house with their children. It was in a good neighborhood, a house that looked completely ordinary. For the first few months, everything was perfectly normal. But their 19-year-old daughter, Patty Donovan, was struggling to adjust. She didn't have many friends, and her parents were very strict with her and her younger brother. To deal with her loneliness, Patty brought a Ouija board into the house. The Ouija board was a dangerous game, one that could be used to communicate with spirits. Patty asked, "Is there any spirit that can hear me?" The planchette quickly moved to yes. Curious, Patty began asking more questions. She learned that the spirit claimed to be a 19-year-old boy. She asked if he would be her friend. The planchette moved to spell B-O-Y-F-R-I-E-N-D. The spirit began complimenting her, telling her she was more beautiful than other girls. Slowly, Patty grew attached. She started talking to him every day and eventually believed he was her boyfriend. Then one day, she asked the spirit to appear in front of her. The lights in her room began to flicker. But for the first time, the planchette didn't move. And from that day on, everything changed. Strange things began happening in the house. At night, when everyone was asleep, loud knocking sounds echoed from inside the walls. It didn't sound like pipes or neighbors. It felt like something inside the house was trying to communicate. One night during dinner, a picture suddenly fell off the wall and shattered. The next morning, Ellen woke up to find scratch marks all over the walls, as if someone had spent the entire night clawing at them. Then came the smell. A horrible odor, like rotting flesh mixed with sulfur, filled the house, and then disappeared. Soon, every family member could smell it. No matter what they did, open windows, turn on exhaust fans, spray perfume, the smell wouldn't go away. One day, Ted went into the bathroom and froze. Instead of water, a thick red liquid like blood was coming out of the tap. He called a plumber immediately. The plumber said it was just rust from old pipes. At that moment, it seemed fixed. But then, it started happening again and again. Every tap in the house began producing that same thick red liquid. What started as noises and smells was now turning into something far more dangerous. On the night of March 31st, 1974, the entire family was watching TV when the lights began flickering. The TV shut off on its own. A 6-foot, 100-kilogram dresser lifted into the air and started spinning. Chairs and pictures began floating. A dark shadow spread across the walls, and a deep, growling sound filled the house. Terrified, Ted took his family and moved into a hotel. But even there, the lights flickered. Screams and strange noises followed them. Eventually, the hotel manager forced them to leave. When they returned home, the house was completely destroyed. Cleaning fluids, alcohol, and perfume were spilled everywhere. The walls were covered in filthy, abusive messages. Even the neighbors reported hearing growling and screams from inside the house. No one understood what was happening. Finally, Ted contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. When they entered the house, they immediately felt something was wrong. The atmosphere was suffocating. Ed knocked twice on a wall. The wall knocked back twice. The foul smell was still there, and the red liquid still flowed from the taps. During the investigation, Lorraine saw a large black shadow floating near Patty's room. It had glowing red eyes. As soon as she saw it, she felt extremely weak, like something was draining her energy. Then Ed entered, and the shadow vanished. The children said they had seen a black figure standing beside their beds. Ellen said she had felt its presence in the kitchen. The Warrens began prayers and rituals, but every time they started, loud banging erupted from the walls. Candles blew out on their own. Whatever was in the house did not want them there. The attacks intensified. One night while Ellen was sleeping, she felt invisible hands choking her. When the lights came on, there were scratch marks on her chest. The Warrens realized this wasn't just a haunting. It was an infestation. Not a wandering spirit, but a demonic entity. Lorraine said the entity wasn't attached to the house. That's why it had followed them to the hotel. And more importantly, it hadn't come on its own. Someone in the house had invited it, That's when Patty confessed about the Ouija board. The Warrens understood the truth. This wasn't a teenage boy. It was a dangerous entity that had lied, manipulated Patty, and entered their lives. There was only one option left: exorcism. Ed requested permission from the church. When the priest began the exorcism, the house turned into a battlefield. The temperature dropped to freezing. Walls shook. Windows shattered. Strange voices echoed everywhere. The black shadow appeared again. Suddenly, Patty lifted into the air. The shadow entered her body. Her eyes turned red. As the exorcism continued, she screamed in pain, then was thrown 5 feet across the room, slamming into a wall, and fell unconscious. And then, silence. The noises stopped. Clean water flowed from the taps again. When Patty woke up, she was completely normal. The exorcism was over. Even today, that house still stands. New people live there. But for the Donovan family, the horror never truly ended. If stories like this scare you, remember this: some doors are better left closed. And before bringing anything into your home, think twice. Just like the Ouija board in the Donovan case, and the mirror in another case the Warrens could never solve.